today you do any budget conduct not so you in this ane head doing any move need to shake la mena de yong yo ça台湾这个有些看到那个对你送下来大体的啥也大的大条就其实这个你第这个一直上呢路路也是少方面不是也是少这是这个大的这个不大的一点然后就呢二月的话那不可能and here Arya Sangha, Osuba, Digna, Dharmakirti, then there's the other two, Gunabhava and Shajabhava. So these great Indian Buddhist masters, you see, they are Sarada, Guru Digi, Jamden Degi, not so social, Dinane. 딱 관계 뭐인지 숨겨래 딱 근시 뭐인지 나머지 그래야만이 숨쉬었지 이게 14호선이 되는 거야 이때하고 하고 좀 전에 대화선이면서 뭐인지 시행하고 있잖아요 14호선이야 그게 잡았지 다시 잡아서 해주잖아요 롱을 댄싱 말어 가려서는 롱을 잡으시기 바라 그래서 디데이인데 의미기 잡아차서 유디 롱이 있잖아요 대한 쉐르베 탑디 리베트만의 제기만이죠
depending on the availability or the existence of enormous amount of predispositions, interest, and so forth of the beings, Buddha accordingly taught the Bodhidharma in varieties of discourses. If faith and prayer is just sufficient, then the Buddha there's no point for Buddha giving the different varieties of discourses. So because just the Buddha says something, and then if the faith alone does the purpose, then there is no need for him to speak at length. And then if you look at the various the Thangka paintings here in front, behind me, so there you see the great masters like Nagarjuna, Asangam, Vasubandhu, Aryadeva, Dignaga, Gunabrahma, and Shakyabrahma, and so forth. So all those great masters. So it is because of the very reality that the Buddhism is to be understood in terms of its relation to the reality. So all these great masters, they took the absolute liberty to interpret the Buddha's different teachings according to the reality as they saw. So and then they tend to classify the teachings of the Buddha into two sections. One, saying those teachings which are definitive in their meanings, and the other which are to be interpreted to some other meanings in accordance with the very intention, the interest, and predispositions of the disciples. So, so then it is not just sufficient to rely on the authority of the Buddha's words in order to prove the validity of the specific reality. Because the very teachings for the Buddha or the words of the Buddha are the basis, or they are the thing which are to be analyzed to see whether or not these teachings hold true in terms of the reality. So it is because of this that when you investigate, when you carry out, explore the reality, it is not proper for one to use those citations or the authority of the words of the Buddha, because we are simply to employ our wisdom to analyze whether or not these teachings of the Buddha holds true or are definitive in its interpretation. So this is the approach of Buddhism.